to create a crack culture that's turned humans into vultures. Goliath brought the poison to the boys in the hood who misunderstood this is the fastest way to get paid what they crave. Hell is the fastest way to get laid in a grave. Your choice, how you go about getting your Benz or Royce, your fattest crib. But Goliath spins the fattest fib of a get-rich-quick scheme which cloaks the nightmare behind this American dream. Schemes, sacrificing lives to the lives of Goliath. How large can you live if you don't live to enjoy it? Scoflow died of street gangrene, the drug trade, drug-crazed entrepreneurotic, junior mafia John Goddick. God, I wish they see this twisted catastrophic logic, this new black bubonic plague or booyah ebonic curse. Robin the Hood are these Robin Hoods in reverse. Free enterprise at its worst. Enslavement is what it is first and foremost. And the ghost of Scoflow, Lil David possesses my pen. This work is dedicated to him. Another dope dealer dead, no different from any other you read or heard about, except he's my baby brother I have to live without. Scoflow was smoked so close to the crib, mom and sis heard the shots. Prayed it wasn't David, but in moments came the knocks with, it's Lil David, come quick, it's bad. Mom's gathered all the strength she had and had to see not only her baby's blood seep through the medic sheets, she might have seen who made the kill when these thugs walked up and asked which one is that, it gave her chills. A mother's intuition shot, wishing the shots weren't for her son, since they returned to confirm their work was done. 2 years to the month from the last time I saw him alive was the night my mother called and I cried and called our other brother, who my sister-in-law awakened. In a state of shock, he lay there shaken. We'll heal in time, but we'll never not mourn. Not as long as we remember the Monday night he was born, or when he was 2, the nightmare he had about a bird in his bed. 2 months before he was 22, he was dead. Life in the fast lane ain't faster than speeding bullets or the fingers that pulled it. Scoflow was so big he had bodyguards who must have been AWOL when Goliath dealt his cards. Were any of them involved? A mystery still unsolved, which made me scream and holler. How far y'all go for that almighty dollar? You killers I no longer scorn. Faceless unknowns long gone. I no longer seek to bring you to justice. Just trust this work will find you receptive. I forgive you and hope these words live you if you're still around, if you're still above ground. Little David's soul is the stone in my sling that I sling at the monster, the sponsor of false dreams and stark reality, the beast that feasts on immorality and mortality. Goliath, I fight with all my might. I write these words as a declaration of war for all your victims, past, present, and should never be. All you got was my brother's body, as body counts mountain too many towns. His soul is a stone in my sling, and I'll bring you down. Goliath is tall, but he'll fall if we all answer the call. For every rock a crack, there could and should be a stone in the sling like mine, to sting him in his one eye that's blind to the pain. My brother didn't die in vain. Through me, I'll see he gave his life that others may live, and I'll give him his props. If the price he paid stops a Scoflow wannabe before he's gonna be laid in the ground, our purposes will have been found in that one eye. Aye, Captain, I'm riding and strapped in my sling to swing, mapping the course to force this scourge back to the hell from where he emerged. Stop this insane game of life and death. Prolong the taking of a youngster's last breath. My brother's life, if I could have, I would have saved it. That's why I'm down with putting Goliath in the ground with Lil David.
Peace and blessings. Praise God. How's everybody doing? What's good? Some of the faces in here I don't really know too well. Some of y'all don't know me from a can of paint. Y'all probably heard some of them earlier. They was calling for a guy named President and was expecting Bill Clinton to come up here or something. I don't know. For those of y'all that don't know, that actually is my real birth given name. It's a long story. I don't want to explain it all at one time. But I was called and told about that they were having a commemoration for a lot of people that passed away here in Richmond. And for those of y'all that don't know me, I'm gonna introduce myself. I work in a lot of street organizations which try to help solve this, or bring solutions forth to the problems we have here in Richmond. Working with young people, I work in elementary school as well as at the Nevins Community Center and in high schools with people that are trying to transform their ways of thinking. I'm talking about the young people that are trying to transform or at least see through a lot of the distractions in the lives that we go through on a day-to-day basis. So it's not really a question of, is there an answer to the problems we have? Because the man that came up here earlier spoke about that God would not change the condition of the people until they first change themselves, right? And I'm a living testament to that, having been a resident here in Central. I know this whole strip very, very well, 23rd, all the way down to Bissell, all the way down to Chancellor, all the way down to Pennsylvania, all the way down to Roosevelt, you know what I'm saying? All the way down from 11 and Chancellor, all the way up to Dub, past Dub on the 23rd. We know how 23rd get at 10 p.m. at night. If you don't know, I don't think you're from here. Be honest with you. I'm gonna do 2 quick poems for you guys. Hopefully they entertaining to you. But because I feel a big gap in the distance between this stage and here, if y'all don't mind, I have a very loud voice, so I'm gonna move closer to y'all. If cameraman, if you need to, I'll allow you to adjust the space because I'm finna get real close to the audience, all right?
Because I can't be stopped by nobody. I got my fist in the air and the movement in my feet. I got love for my people, but it starts with me. And you see, I grew up in a city like Richmond where the streets are filled with decay and the children don't have a chance to play the way that they used to. It's a place where most of these young niggas grow up and follow figures that didn't even have a chance to find out who their father figures was. A place where most cats are reduced to nothing but mere names on the wall. And there's plenty of dead shames on the wall because most of my friends die over dumb stuff. It's like we stay stuck on the slum stuff because where I'm from, well, they already done tore down the Eastern Hill projects and took away the recreational sports. It's a place where young boys put on jerseys and shorts and dream big of stardom on hardwood courts, but awaken to the harsh reality of unfinished youth center floors where the light splinters. And you see the cold winters where they hide crack houses instead of recreational centers, which they claim to never keep open because they lost the money for operation. But you see, the deconstruction of our nation has been in perpetuation ever since Willie Lynch put his theory in motion, with decharacterization being his sole promotion. Therefore, if we take the basket out of his face and put a little cocaine in his place, well, he's still gonna score. So what's a young man to do when he doesn't want to do wrong, but there's a lock on the right door? And what about the boy that has the aggression of a prize fighter and the heart of a soldier, but hasn't been taught what to fight for? You see, most of our families are just simply fatherless and quite poor. That means the men ain't stepping up. That means the men ain't stepping up. So they grow up fatherless and quite poor, which means that they grow up from lack of food to eat, but also missing the hugs that they look for. You see, what about those kids that go to those inner city schools? What about the kids that go to the inner city schools? If they only had a chance to learn chemistry for real before learning how to whip 7.5 out of 6. And if they had the chance to go to those same schools that the kids have way out there in the sticks. See, what about those same little black girls had the chance to go to dance school for free so they would learn the dream of a Broadway show and wasn't forced into a game where you assume a filthy name just to put your ass and your soul up for show on E14. Imagine if those same little black girls was taught to love themselves and imitate no one and give a command respect the minute that they walk through the door. Imagine if they seen themselves on the primetime hours instead of just another late night BET uncut tip drill rap video whores. Imagine that.
All right.
Now, when I was dealing with that one, I was dealing with the frustration of some people I had lost very dear to me over here in the 19th Street area. But this one right here, I recently lost my brother. I'm only a sibling of 2, so I lost my only brother. And my mother passed away when I was 6 months. This piece right here, I really want a lot of y'all to take this to heart. It's a story. I'm gonna need y'all to kind of, ride with me, because it's gonna sound repetitive. But I want you to really feel where it gets to at the end, because it does have a powerful message behind it. Because of that, I'm gonna awake a lot of feelings in some of y'all that y'all may have forgot about. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit, because when I see a lot of commotion, it reminds me of Malcolm X, when the man didn't get his hands out of his pockets and Malcolm got popped. So I'm gonna wait for the little young brother over there to sit down or something, man. All that movement and stuff is scaring me, Let's go like this. See, I told y'all I work at an elementary school, right? And how many of y'all had kids that was going to school for the very first time this year? Anybody had kids going to school for the very first time? Or any kids in elementary? By showing hands? Okay. Well, I'm going to take you back to when you first prepared them to go to school, right? Because there's this young boy that came into my program, and he was his very first time going to school. And on the night before was his first night going to school, his mom said, son, tomorrow you're going to begin your first day at school. So when you wake up, I want you to wash your face, put on your backpack, and come downstairs, and I'll prepare you to take you to the bus. So when he woke up, he was excited, right? And he woke up excited, and he washed his face, he put on his backpack, ran downstairs, and there was his mom and said, son, okay, come eat your cereal before you go to school. And he ate his cereal up, right? His favorite, it was Fruit Loops. So he eats his cereal up, and he's excited, and he goes to the door, and his mom says, son, okay, I'm gonna walk you over to the bus stop. So they walk down the porch and across the yard over to the edge of the sidewalk, and there's the bus driver, and he gets on the bus takes him to school, right? Very first day at school. So today is the very first day in school, so they learn the names of the teachers and of the students, and everybody gets to learn the names, and after the day's over, he gets back on the bus, comes back home, and there you have his mama. And he's getting to the door, and he's like, Mommy, I want to tell you all about my day. And so he gets excited, right? He's like, Mommy, I want to tell you all about my day. And he runs in the house, and he's like, Mom, I want to tell you all about my day. And Mom says, slow down, son, slow down. You know how they get real excited, right? So he's like, slow down, son. I want you to go upstairs, wash your face, change your clothes, and come back downstairs. So he goes upstairs, washes his face, changes his clothes, come downstairs, and this smell hits him, right? And it's the smell of like chocolate chip cookies, the real chocolatey kind. And so he runs to the table, and there's his mom has chocolate chip cookies on the table for him. And he's eating up these chocolate chip cookies, and he's drinking the milk. And then after he's done, he says, Mom, I want to tell you all about my day. Today we learned the names of my teachers, of the students, and woo. And then his mom stopped and said, son, okay, but tomorrow, since you already been through the first day, tomorrow I'm not going to walk you outside. I'm going to walk you to the porch. You can walk yourself over across the yard. So he wakes up in the morning, washes his face, puts on his backpack, comes downstairs, eats his cereal, and he goes to the door, and his mom holds his hands to the door and says, son, okay, I'm going to watch you walk across the yard. You can do it on your own. So he runs over to the school bus, runs up on top of the school bus, and today, when they go to school, they learn ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, because it's the beginning of the school year. So they learn the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s, and then it's time to come home, and he comes home, he's like, Mommy, I want to tell you all about my day, right? He's excited, he wants to share with his mother, So he said, Mom, I want to tell you all about my day, and his mom says, hold on, son, go upstairs, wash your face, change your clothes, and come back downstairs. So, as he goes upstairs, he washes his face, changes his clothes, comes downstairs, and the smell hits him again, right? Except this time it's brownies. The real big kind. So he runs to the table, and he's eating the brownies, and he's drinking the milk, and then his mama, he's like, Mommy, I want to tell you all about my day. We did ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and Mama said, okay, now son, you done been through this process enough, and I don't need to baby you no more. So now tomorrow, when you wake up in the morning, after you eat your cereal, I expect you to take yourself outside, and I don't have to watch you when you get on the bus. So in the morning time, after he washed his face, and he put on his backpack, and he went downstairs, he went and ate his cereal, and he went outside all on his own today. And he caught the bus to school. And see, when he got to school, today was a little bit different, right? Because, they did the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and they read books, right? But today he got into a fight with a kid named Aaron. But that's okay though, because all of y'all that got kids, y'all know kids get into fights, that stuff happens, and it's just part of the playground. And matter of fact, by the time that it was time to come home, him and Aaron made up, and they rode on the bus together. And that was almost his new best friend. So by the time he gets home, he's like, Mommy, I want to tell you all about my day. Mommy, he's excited, right? So he walks through the house, and he doesn't see his mother. But he's like, I remember what I'm supposed to do, right? I go upstairs, wash my face, change my clothes, and he does that. And he comes back downstairs and he doesn't smell nothing. Because he doesn't smell nothing, he like, okay, hold on, maybe I need to go find Mama in the kitchen. She might be cooking. She wasn't in there. But then he looks in the living room, he's like, Mommy, I want to tell you all about my day. And she's not in the living room. And he's like, Mommy, I want to tell you all about my day. And she's not in the back porch. And then he goes into the bathroom. And he sees his mother. And there she is. And she's on her knees and she's leaning over the toilet. And she's on her knees over the toilet. But he's really excited, right? He's got to tell his mama all about his day. So he goes over and tells her, Mommy, I want to tell you all about my day. And there's his mom right over on the floor, throwing up into the toilet. Get away from me, you little black bastard! Didn't I tell your dumb ass to stay out here when I'm doing my stuff? And it was at this very moment in this child's life that he learned to distrust love and women. Because the very first woman he ever loved hurt him. And the trust that he had for his mother was broken. And he grew up and manifested that same hatred that he felt in that moment against every single woman he ever dated. And because he can never learn to trust again, he didn't trust the niggas he grew up with either. So killing them wasn't a damn thing to him. You see, we hurting, y'all. And a lot of pain that we feeling is from those early childhood moments when the adults broke our trust. So for all the parents in this building, this story, whether you was tuned in the whole time or not, was just a reminder that those bonds with those little ones is the ones that are the most precious. Because a lot of the broken men that we have now was broken children.
All right, I'm good.